So, Tom, let's go through the entire first round, then we'll check out that big board to see who we have left for tomorrow. We start with Baker Mayfield going number 1 overall, the quarterback out of Oklahoma. Saquon Barkley going number 2, Darnold going 3, and Denzel Ward number 4. Tom, let's start with Baker Mayfield. Incredible story. He ends up going number 1, the Heisman winner, great season all year long. What do you make of Baker to the Browns?
He is my number 1 quarterback. I think the Browns got this one right. I think they have found their franchise quarterback. I love what Baker does. He's a highly accurate player. He could compete with Tyrod Taylor even right away for a starting job. I don't think he will, though. The Browns have done the right thing at number 1 overall.
At number 2, Saquon Barkley, the electrifying running back out of Penn State. If you go read Dave Gettleman's comments about Saquon Barkley after they took him, you would have thought that he literally just took this guy straight out of the Hall of Fame. Like, he hopped out of a time machine and said, yeah, this guy's a Hall of Famer. We just got him at number 2 overall.
I just don't like number 2 overall for a halfback. I think it's a little bit too early. I get that he's a very talented player. Again, number 3 overall on my big board. I'm not hating on the talent. I'm hating on the team fit because the Giants have a lot of needs. Why didn't you just trade down and get more picks when in reality, I think you're trying to rebuild right now.
Let's go to number 3, Sam Darnold to the Jets. They finally get their quarterback, but air of caution. The last time they took a quarterback at USC, butt fumble, Tom.
Don't ever scout by the helmet that the player wears. Darnold could have gone number 1. I have a round 2 pick on him. He needs a year, but it's a better pick than Josh Allen. It's not a home run pick, but they did fine to get Darnold. I know a lot of teams love him.
Denzel Ward to the Cleveland Browns. A decent surprise, but not a bad pick.
No, they wanted a number 1 corner. They've got that now. I would have gone with Bradley Chubb. I don't hate it overall. They got 2 very talented players, the Browns did, and they got a bunch of picks early on in the second round. They're in good shape right now.
Let's move on to Bradley Chubb, who got picked by the Broncos at 5, Quenton Nelson at 6, Allen at 7, and Roquan Smith at 8. Let's start with Chubb at 5 to the Broncos. Chubb plus Von Miller. Tom, one of the best pass rushing duos instantly in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a dynamic 1-2 punch there. The Denver Broncos love edge rushers. Watch out now for a potential trade. They have Shane Ray. They have Shaquille Barrett. Now they get Bradley Chubb. I could see a day 2, day 3 trade for one of those guys instead. So keep an eye out for Denver making moves later on in terms of player trades.
Quenton Nelson at 6, just a shoo-in. He was going to go top 10. And finally, maybe the Colts can make sure that Andrew Luck doesn't literally die.
Number 1 player on my board. Great job, Indianapolis. You nailed that pick.
At number 7, the Bills finally get their big quarterback in Josh Allen. Tom, you're shaking your head. So am I. Oh, man, we get to see the Buffalo Bills flame out with Josh Allen.
Call me crazy that a guy who has never completed 60% of his passes dating back to high school is suddenly going to in the NFL. I guess that makes me a hater and a crazy person.
You are a hater and a crazy person.
It is what it is.
Fun fact. Let's go to number 8, Roquan Smith, joining, like I mentioned before, a just incredible linebacker legacy with the Chicago Bears. You're going back to players like Brian Urlacher and Briggs, all these fantastic linebackers come out of there. What does Roquan Smith bring to this Bears defense?
A very speedy inside linebacker. He's a good fit in Chicago. He's going to make quite a few impressive plays overall. I like the pick of Roquan. I thought he could have gone a little bit later. I didn't think he was getting outside the top 10, but getting him at 8 I think is proper value for the Bears. I like the fit a lot. They did good to take Roquan Smith at number 8 overall. I think overall that's a very good pick. 3 great picks on there. The Josh Allen
and then one Josh Allen.
No, I am not a Josh Allen believer. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't have great hope in that Allen's going to be a true franchise guy.
Let's stay on Roquan Smith before we get to our next picks. Lots of trades in this draft in general, but in the top 10, let's go to some of those trades. At number 9, you have Mike McGlinchey. Then at 10, you have Josh Rosen. At 11, you have Micah Fitzpatrick. And at 12, you have Vita Vea. Let's start with Mike McGlinchey. Good, not great pick. Going to be a safe pick. We'll see what happens with Joe Staley, but now eyes all turn to Trent Brown with the 49ers. What do they do with him?
Well, I think that maybe they trade Staley or Brown. I don't know if they're really going to spend a first-round pick, a top 10 pick, and not play somebody. So there'd been some buzz that Brown could be on the trade block. We'll see what happens there. Maybe it's Staley instead because he's getting older, but interesting pick at number 9 overall. Love Josh Rosen at 10, top 10 guy for me, number 8 overall on my board. Number 2 quarterback. Great pick by the Arizona Cardinals. Minka was a bit of a surprise. The Dolphins didn't need a safety, but they did want an impact player. They got that there at number 11 with Minka. I'm okay with that one. Vita Vea is an immensely talented defensive tackle, one of my favorite guys this year, a top 10 player for me. That Bucs defensive line has gone from weak as all get out to one of the best positions on that entire roster.
Let's get into pick 13 with the Washington Redskins. Daron Payne, the D tackle from Alabama. Then Marcus Davenport. The Saints trade up huge, including their first-round pick next year to get Marcus Davenport. The Raiders take Colton Miller, and also a surprise. And then Tremaine Edmonds falls all the way to 16, but the Bills move up to snatch him. Tom, out of these 4 picks, who, to be totally honest, I think the only one that we expected to be there was Daron Payne at 13. Are you surprised by any of this? What do you make out of these 4 picks?
Well, I know that the Redskins wanted Vita Vea. With him off the board, they took Daron Payne. I guess they settled. That's not a terrible pick, though. Davenport surprised me. I did not think the Saints were going to move up for him. I know that they wanted an edge rusher. They could have stand pat and got Harold Landry. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
That was a mistake by the Saints as far as I'm concerned. The Raiders wanted a tackle. They missed on McGlinchey. I think they might have taken Colton Miller anyway. They did good to trade down, though. I'm just not a big fan of Colton Miller. Hopefully he turns out. He'll start early, but I just didn't see it on film at UCLA. The upside, though, is there athletically.
Let's go to our next batch of picks. Derwin James falls all the way to 17, but gets picked up by the Chargers. You have Jaire Alexander going to the Packers at 18. Leighton Vander Esch finds his home with the Dallas Cowboys.
Got that one right.
Ragnow goes to the Lions at 20. Tom, a good group here. Leighton Vander Esch, I think the star going to, well, the Cowboys with the star at number 19. Great pick.
It's Derwin. Derwin's the best pick there at 17. Chargers wanted a free safety. They can make James into that. He's going to be an impact player early. Love that pick. Packers wanted a corner. I thought it was going to be Josh Jackson. Ends up being Jaire Alexander. I am okay with that. They're right next to each other on my big board. Good pick by Green Bay. Thought for sure Ragnow was going to the Bengals. He goes to the Lions instead. And then it's Leighton Vander Esch at number 19 overall. The Cowboys loved him. He was on the board. Now on day 2, we wait for the Cowboys. Can they get a receiver or can they get a guard? Cortland Sutton's still there. Maybe they make a move up. They like to do that in round 2 of the NFL draft in the years past.
Let's go to our next 4 picks. Billy Price, the center from Ohio State, goes to 21 to the Bengals. At 22, the Titans take Rashaan Evans. At 23, the Patriots take Isaiah Wynn, the guard out of Georgia. Quite a surprise there. And then at 24, the Panthers take DJ Moore. We talked enough about the Patriots taking Isaiah Wynn. Let's talk about the Panthers taking DJ Moore at 24, finally giving Cam Newton the weapon he needs on the outside.
I think Cam's going to like DJ Moore a lot. He's got to do better actually going deep downfield, but the athletic traits are there. I love the Rashaan Evans pick. I would have taken Harold Landry, but I'm okay with taking Evans. That's a great value there for Titans. Feels a big need as well. That's my favorite pick of those 4 up there right now, Harris.
All right, let's go to our next ones. Hayden Hurst, Calvin Ridley, Rashaad Penny,
Idiotic.
And Terrell.
Makes no sense.
Terrell Edmonds. Tom,
we are off the rails now.
How about Calvin Ridley to the Falcons?
Great selection. Number 1 wide receiver on my board.
I like positivity.
Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Devonta Freeman. You got Tevin Coleman, Matt Ryan, Mohamed Sanu. That's a loaded Falcons offense. I love it.
But without throwing too much shade at it,
I will throw shade.
Can you give me a reasoning why the Seahawks took Penny at 27?
They wanted a halfback. Penny put up great production this year. He is a big play threat. He didn't look that great at the Senior Bowl practices. He had a good bowl game. I like Penny more than Donnell Pumphrey by a wide margin. I thought Penny was a day 2 guy. He's going to put up good production, but you can find that production later in the draft. I don't like spending value picks on a halfback, especially if it's not Derrius Guice. That just didn't make sense to me.
Let's get to our last 4 picks in the draft. Taven Bryan goes to the Jaguars at 29. Mike Hughes goes to the Vikings at pick 30. Sony Michel goes to the Patriots at 31, and another big surprise. And then the Ravens end the first round by taking Lamar Jackson, the quarterback out of Louisville. Need to point out that the Ravens' current offensive coordinator did coach Mike Vick, so maybe there's some connections there.
Maybe that can help there. I'm not a huge fan of Marty Mornhinweg.
That's fair.
So, that's just where I sit. Taven Bryan is a future pick for the Jags. They cannot keep both Malik Jackson and Marcel Darius long term. They've got a replacement for one of them. I'm okay with Mike Hughes, especially with the other picks we had. I do not understand the Sony Michel pick. I hate that one. Lamar Jackson to Baltimore. It's a good pick. There's your replacement for Joe Flacco, maybe even as soon as just a year from now. I think it's a very good pick for the Ravens. Much better than Hayden Hurst. They should have just taken Lamar Jackson and not Hurst in the first round.
Tom,
I don't like that part.
Let's check out a couple players from your big board as we head into round 2 tomorrow. Again, we will be here tomorrow for rounds 2 and 3. Day 2, as we like to call it in the draft community. It'll be a great time. Join us back here on the Chat Sports Facebook page and on YouTube.
Had the picks earlier today. I'm going to have them again for you tomorrow.
There you go. So we have Harold Landry, Derrius Guice, Mo Hurst, and Josh Jackson as your top 4 players still on the board.
I do not understand why Harold Landry has not been taken. There has to be something wrong with him off the field. My guess is medical. Maybe we find out by tomorrow, but something's not right with Landry. Guice, I know that there are some concerns with some of the off-the-field stuff. He may or may not have actually made up that NFL team asked him if he was gay at the Combine. So that's a concern with Guice. There have been some buzz about that. Mo Hurst, I believe it's the heart condition. I still love him a lot because I'm not sure about the heart, but I get why he fell. And then Josh Jackson, there were some speed issues with him. That's why he's fallen.
Couple more players here before we end our night. Connor Williams, Will Hernandez, Ronnie Harrison, and James Daniels. Tom, those are all 4 guys I thought were going to go first round. Ronnie Harrison, I thought
I didn't think Harrison was going to go round 1. I actually didn't have Daniels or Connor Williams, but I didn't think Price was going to go. I like where those guys sit. They're going to go early in round 2.
But that's going to end our coverage of round 1 of the NFL Draft. We will be back here tomorrow for day 2. That is Tom Downey. I am Harris Rubenstein. We will see you guys tomorrow for this day 2 of the draft.